Prime Super have supported the association for many years, and the Prime Super regional managers are a regular feature of New South Wales Farmers Field Day sheds and other events across the state. In the past year, Prime Super have undergone a rebranding and seen an increase in their regional management team. Stephen oversees the fund's operations, and his portfolios include insurance, administration, business development and financial planning. He has worked in the finance industry for over 30 years and has held senior management positions in superannuation, retail banking, internal audit, human resource management and planning. Please welcome Stephen to the podium.
Thank you very much. It's a great pleasure to be here today and to speak for the first time for me at a New South Wales Farmers annual conference. If I can, okay, so the first slide I have, I apologise for, it looks like someone's tripped over and spilt the words out of their dictionary on the page. It is a requirement though that we provide a legal disclaimer before we speak in public. I just wanted to talk briefly about Prime Super and who we are. We're an industry superannuation fund established in 1996, originally set up to service rural and regional Australians, and more recently through a merger with a small health related industry super fund, we also provide services into the health sector as well. We have around 125,000 members and about 33,000 employees who contribute into the fund. And some interesting statistics I read just recently says we're now the 14th biggest fund in Australia by membership. So that's a great achievement for us, and obviously we're keen to be in the top 10. Just looking at the fund's investment returns, I think a couple of points I want to make here to the slide is if you look at our performance since 2011, when we had some fairly significant changes to our investment portfolio, we've provided above average returns in every year. And that's something we're very, very proud of at the fund. It's difficult to be in the top 50% all the time. What we know this year to date is that we're also going to be in the top 50%. In fact, we think we might do better than that. But as at May, we were running at nearly 3% year to date, and we think that return will be better than that. It should be finalised in the next couple of days, and we're very confident we'll go to market with something which will reinforce our strong ongoing performance in returns in terms of providing solid income for our membership. Just a couple of good news stories, and I don't necessarily want to take these in the order that they're on the slide. I suppose firstly, it's our 20th birthday this year, and we're very proud of that, and to celebrate, one of the things that we've been able to do is provide a small reduction in cost to our membership. You don't hear too many stories these days of people reducing fees. And whilst it is only a small reduction, it is a reduction. We've been able to reduce our weekly fee for our members from $1.40 to $1.30. And the fund is now a fund that manages $3 billion, and that's a figure that's growing all the time, and with good, solid management within the fund, we are confident that figure will grow quite strongly to $4 billion very quickly. We have within the fund a number of regional managers around Australia, and the sums that we've done say, all up, they've travelled around 160,000 kilometres for the year visiting members and employees in regional Australia. Something that a lot of the bigger funds don't do. Most of their cars seem to stop working when they get sort of to the Blue Mountains or thereabouts, and they don't really get out into the regional areas of New South Wales. Here in New South Wales, which is about 35% of our fund by membership, we have 4 regional managers. We have Scott Boyle in Wagga, we've got Jeff Higgins in Dubbo, Annette Mackay in Tamworth, and Ben Cassidy here in Sydney. And we also provide 2 financial planners to help and assist with education and planning for our members, and they're available as needed to travel in regional New South Wales. We think it's very important that employers try and use the services of our of our regional managers and our planners. Superannuation is by nature a fairly complex thing, and we think one of the things that we can do is explain it and remove some of the complexity. And in a competitive market for good staff, it's always good to have some retention tools for staff, and we can certainly help with things like financial wellness and financial wellbeing. Just wanted to talk briefly about the markets, the financial markets. 2015-16 has been a very volatile and uncertain year. A lot of political issues going on in the world, the lead up to the Brexit vote. We've got the ongoing Hollywood or Bollywood issue in the US called the US election. We've got ongoing threats of terrorism. We've got the refugee crisis in Europe. We've got countries who still haven't recovered properly from the global financial crisis. We've got issues still remaining in places like Greece and Spain. So it's been a very volatile and uncertain year. And what we read is that there are a lot of countries that still haven't made fundamental change to protect them from another global financial crisis. And we see many countries that are stuck in the area of the three Ps getting in the way of economic responsibility. So we see political ideology, we see pragmatism, and we see popularism getting in the way of countries actually making change that's needed. Interestingly, here in Australia, we saw stronger growth than was expected in our economy, and we saw an unemployment rate decrease, and this was all despite someone who might think that the political parties were more inwardly focused than outwardly focused. Perhaps we should keep them like that. Looking forward, what's going to happen over the next 1, 2 or 3 years? We think it's more of the same. We think there's a lot of fallout to come out of the Brexit decision in the UK. We think there'll be some positives and some negatives. I know that our Prime Minister has already started talking about a free trade agreement with the United Kingdom, which should be a positive for our economy. The US election is something that it certainly is driving change. It's a new president no matter what. I hear a lot of people say, well, it'll certainly be Hillary Clinton, but no one really thought the Donald would get as far as he's got. So I think that's a bit of a concern. The US economy drives economic growth in a lot of countries besides the US, and if that election doesn't produce the right result, it could have flow-on effects. I think here in Australia, the new Parliament has thrown up some issues as far as the economy is concerned. I think the Senate will be an interesting body of people for the government to work with. I think we still have a bit of budget repair that needs to occur, and we've also, from a superannuation perspective, got a number of superannuation changes that are pending the government getting back to work. And I suppose, I'm happy to finish on that note, but add my own disclaimer that you need to bear in mind that an economist is generally perceived to be someone who's 50% accurate at predicting the past. Thank you very much.